What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm right in front of my window again. So I want to keep doing this thing where I'm doing natural lighting versus studio lighting. I just feel like studio lighting doesn't show the true colors of the foundation or the concealer or any eyeshadow palettes that you're using. So I really want to work more in natural lighting. So today we are doing this tutorial right in front of my big window. So this video is just going to be a get ready with me, but putting on a bunch of products that I currently really love. So it's going to be a pretty natural makeup look versus the eyes. But as for my eyes, I'm actually using a new palette. This is the new 420 Melt Cosmetics palette. It's super cool. It like shifts. So I'm gonna go ahead and do an eye tutorial using this palette. I've used this palette quite a bit before this video so that I could kind of give you guys a really good review, like a first impressions review. So I've used this palette before. So at the very end of the video, I'm gonna let you guys know my honest opinions on what I thought about this palette. Is it worth getting and all that? So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so when I usually go for like a dewy makeup look, what I usually try to do before is exfoliate and moisturize. Those are the two big things that are gonna make your skin look really nice and glowy, and skincare is always important before makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and exfoliate. I've been using this mild facial peeling gel and I've been using the one from Primera. So I've actually been sent a couple things from the brand called Primera. I actually like this brand because they're pretty good for sensitive skin. So the first thing that I usually go in with is the Primera Mild Facial Peeling Gel. So I've been using this to exfoliate, which is funny because I usually don't use these type of things. So typically to exfoliate, I usually just go in with a BHA at night. And then when I wake up in the morning, I do feel like my skin is a lot more glowier and all of the dead skin is gone. So this right here, what it does is it's that type of product where you put it on and you kind of go like this to your skin and all of the dead skin comes off. So this is very similar to the e.l.f. one. This is the e.l.f. Gentle Peeling Exfoliant and this is the Primera one. So I've been using this one. So these two I find to be very similar and they actually smell the same. I think they have that same chemical that when you apply it to the oil on your face, it creates that dead skin type of experience. So when you go like this to your skin with it, you'll see a bunch of dead skin kind of roll off. I don't really think that that's actually happening. I think there's an ingredient in it that's making that happen. Similar to the one from the Huda Beauty brand. They have that one called Wishful that also does that. If you have very sensitive skin and you want something that's very mild to exfoliate with, I like it, but just keep in mind that it's not actually doing that. There's like an ingredient in it that makes it seem as if your dead skin is, you know, coming off. So in the Primera one, they actually use broccoli sprout extract and neem leaf extract, which is supposed to clarify and calm the skin. So I feel like the ingredients are just a little bit better in this one, but I do think you can get a very similar outcome with the e.l.f. Mild Facial Peeling Gel. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Primera one. This was set complimentary and I've been trying it out. I do like it. Okay, so you're actually supposed to get a little bit of water on the skin. I just opened up a water bottle and put it on my hands. My hands are clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of this Mild Facial Peeling Gel onto the skin and you guys will see it'll kind of do that effect. So I just put it on the skin like this. So you put it on the skin and it's supposed to buff away dead skin. If I need to exfoliate really quickly, then I'll use this. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead, wash my face, and then get into moisturizer. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna go in is prep my lips really quickly. I usually do this in the very beginning of my makeup routine just so that my lips are really nice and smooth by the end. I'm gonna go in with the Primera Alpine Berry Lip Mask. It is a plant-based leave-on lip mask that cushions, soothes, and protects with a natural mix of conditioning, butters, and extracts. So it has sea berry in it and murmuru butter, which is barrier protecting and then nourishing. So, alright, so I just go in with that lip balm really quickly and I actually really like it. It's a very thick lip balm, so you can wear it throughout the day or you can wear it at night. So now I'm picking up the Primera Alpine Berry Water Cream and this is supposed to be like a dewy, glowy type of moisturizer. I've actually been using it a lot. Let me show you guys the inside. It's pretty thick. So this is what it looks like. So I usually go in with a little bit of this and I always prep my skin with moisturizer. I actually bring it all the way up to my eyes. And this smells so clean. So this moisturizer has Alpine Berry Complex, which is supposed to be moisturizing, and it also has Artemisia extract, which is supposed to soothe, which I totally agree with that. Whenever I have redness, I usually put this on and I do feel like it really soothes the skin. My only thing is that it does have coconut derived oil, which is supposed to be nourishing. If you don't like coconut oil, then I don't know if you'll like this because it does have that in it. For some people, they actually have no problem with it. It doesn't make them break out, but for some people, it does make them break out. So I just wanted to add that in. So I'm gonna go ahead now and actually do my foundation. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my Pores Noir Dr. Brandt Primer. primer. I love this primer, but I'm not going to go in with a lot of it. Since I already went ahead and kind of put moisturizer all over the skin, I feel like my skin feels very prepped and very moisturized and ready to go for makeup. So I'm going to apply really little bit of that primer, and I'm just applying it into my T-zone, kind of where I have pores, and then a little bit right here on the forehead. So really just where I get oily. So right here in my T-zone, and that's it. And I like to use my fingers because I feel like I really press the product into the skin. If you are someone who really likes a pore filling primer, I do recommend this one. This is my second one. I really like it. I usually get it whenever it's on sale. Okay, so I'm ready to go in with foundation. So I've been using a foundation. It's not new, but it's new to me. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. It's supposed to be a dewy medium to full coverage foundation. I've been wanting to try more dewy foundations. So this is their luminous foundation. I tried it once before, and I'm in the shade 315 Neutral. I'm gonna actually use my Tati Beauty Blendiful. So this actually ripped the other day while I was washing it. Very little on the side right there. I'm kind of annoyed that it did rip. I'm actually gonna try to contact them. I'll be honest, I kind of put this away and forgot about it, and I'm kind of trying to use it again, but I haven't washed it that much for it to kind of rip. Alright, so when I do this, I do like very little pumps, like almost barely pressing it down, just so I can get little dots all over the face. I have used both methods, the sliding and the pressing it in, and I definitely prefer pressing it in. Alright, so in the areas where I kind of have a little bit of redness, I'm sort of pressing that into the skin a little bit more rather than sliding it, because I feel like when you slide it, you're just kind of taking off the foundation. So I'm just going to kind of press it in, bring it down to the neck, but I have to say that that foundation shade, the 315 Neutral, matches my skin perfectly. So if you have a similar skin tone to me, I think you'll really like that foundation because it matches perfectly, even like my neck and everything. So this is what it looks like after. I really like that foundation. It's so good. I don't think it's super dewy. Like, you know how some dewy foundations are a little bit greasy? This one I feel like is like the perfect amount of luminous, because I feel like I could even not wear powder with this. So I feel like it dries down really nicely. So I recently bought that, but I feel like I would definitely repurchase that again because the finish of it is really that good. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer. I bought this a little while ago and totally forgot about it. So I'm actually in the shade 3.25 Neutral, Medium Neutral. And I'll show you guys the brush of it. It's just like a tiny little brush. Not like your normal doe foot type of concealer, but I actually like it because I can just get into those little areas. Like, I'm just trying to cover up that little red spot and that spot right there. And so that's all you do. I just go in with a couple dots and that's it. I really don't like to go in with a lot of concealer. And usually I get a little bit of redness right here. So I actually prefer this tiny little doe foot, whereas I feel like a lot of people like the bigger one. This one's actually really nice. It's actually supposed to be in the same shape as the Beauty Blender. So that concealer has more of a natural radiant finish versus most concealers are a little bit more matte. That one's going to be a little bit more natural. So I actually prefer that one for the summer. Alright, so I'm going to use my Blendiful and just like flip the other side and just kind of press that into the skin. I really don't go in with a lot of concealer. It's just to kind of focus on little problem areas that I couldn't really get with the foundation. I'm making my Blendiful like a taco shape because I feel like it really helps me get into those areas a little bit more. Okay, you guys, so I'm picking up my blush. This is from M2U NYC. They are an affordable brand. I find them a little bit similar to e.l.f. Cosmetics in the price point, and this is in the shade called Hot. So this is a bright red, and you're gonna be like, girl, that does not match you, but I'm gonna go in with very little bit. So this is what it looks like, and I actually found this to be almost identical, like a dupe to the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. So if you literally wanted to get the Natasha Denona Bloom palette for just the red blush, save your money and get this $5 one because it is exactly the same and it's actually really good. So this is the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. This is their red blush. This is actually even drier than this one, the M2U NYC one, and it's like $55 for the palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and compare it to this one right here. The only difference I kind of see between the two is that this one is a deeper red. So this is the brush I'm using. Whenever working with cream products, you guys will see on my channel, I always go in with a duo fiber brush. I'm going to apply really little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and smile. So I'm starting in like stippling motions. And I'm just going to kind of start to blend so you guys can see. Alright you guys, so that is actually how I'm going to leave the skin. I'm only going to go in with a very little bit of this HD finishing powder from NYX Cosmetics, and it almost has like a very light yellowish tint to it, which I like. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder. I don't like to go in with powder at all. I'm actually going to skip out on bronzer. I'm just going to kind of apply it right on top of the blush in my T-zone, because that is where I get the most oily, and then I'm going to apply a little bit right here on my forehead. I'm literally going in with so little, and then I'm gonna just kind of blend everything about. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly apply that to the skin. Okay you guys, so I'm picking up the 420 palette, and this is what the outside packaging looks like. It's very cool. It has that type of material. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up for you guys, and then we will do swatches and get into the eye look. You guys, so these are really quick swatches, literally only one swipe. The mattes are so good in this palette. This shimmer shadow, this is what it looks like. I even tried to layer the shimmer shadow at least one more time, and I do not like this shimmer shade at all. It just does not layer on well. Even for a topper shade, it's not a good topper shade. You have to like really stick your finger in it to get even any type of pigmentation. Okay, so I'm grabbing a blending brush and I'm picking up the shade right here called Full Melt. When I get out here, I'm gonna just softly bring it out a little bit, and I'm just going back and forth. I'm dipping back into the palette again, but only with a little bit, because I can tell that these shadows do build up really nicely. Alright you guys, so this is what it looks like. It's just that brown shade called Full Melt. Alright you guys, so I'm gonna go in with this shade called Shadow right here. This is the only shimmer shade from the palette. I have to tell you guys, this shimmer is not that great. You have to like, oh my god, like really press your finger in it. Like that's me like really pressing my finger in it, and that's what it looks like on my finger. I think that this is supposed to be meant as a topper shade, maybe to be used on top of wax, or maybe to be used like, I don't know, on top of other shades, but on its own, I don't think this is a good shimmer. I always think that applying shimmer shades with your fingers applies really nicely. And let's see how it applies. Ooh, I have to say, yeah, I'm not a fan of this shimmer at all. I'm like trying to apply it onto my finger, and I feel like nothing, it just has like no pigment. But I'm going to try to use it as a topper, because I really feel like that's what it's for. Try to use it with a brush and see if it does anything, and if not, I'll just use it as a topper. Okay you guys, so that's what it looks like on the eyes. I mean, it's really not doing anything for me, but I'm gonna try to use this a different way now. Okay, now I'm gonna try to use my brush and apply that. I'm going to pick up wax. It's just a really bright yellow from the palette. I'm using my Sigma eye shading brush in 855 right next to shatter, and then afterwards I'm going to try to apply shatter on top and see if it applies better. Alright, I'm applying that all over the lid. I'm going to go on top of it with another layer, and it does layer really nicely. That's something I noticed. These bright shades, if you want to layer them on top and get like if you want it to look even more pigmented or even brighter, with another layer you can go ahead and do that, and they do layer on very nicely. Okay, so this is what the yellow looks like. So now I'm gonna go on top of it with that shimmer yellow just to see if it applies better. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just apply right on top. It does not seem to be applying well with my finger. So what I'm gonna do is actually get a synthetic brush and spray it with water. Alright, I'm getting like a synthetic flat shader brush and I'm actually gonna spray it with water to try to get this to work a little bit better. It looks like it's kind of applying better, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm probably not gonna use that shade at all. And I'll probably just use it like as a inner corner shade, and that's pretty much it, like literally just for the inner corner. Okay, you guys, so this is what it looks like. I'm gonna go back in with a brown right here. Okay, I'm picking up the shade called Roll It. As you guys can see, it's a very, very deep brown, and I think it's gonna go really, really nicely in my outer corner. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna go in with my JH33 brush. It's just like a blending brush. It's the same one I use for my crease. So I'm sort of just applying that, pressing it down, and then I'll start to blend it. I actually really like this brown shade. It's just super, super dark, and it goes really, really well with full melt. I'm just picking up a clean blending brush just to kind of blend everything out. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go underneath to kind of clean that up. That's something that I always do with my makeup. Alright you guys, so that is what it looks like. I like it a lot better now that I cleaned up underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on mascara and lashes and then let you guys know my final thoughts. I have used this palette quite a bit, so I feel like I can kind of tell you guys a pretty good review on it. Okay you guys, so I went ahead and I lined my lips with the Sephora gel liner. It's in the shade called Hot Sauce. So that is what it looks like. It's actually my favorite lip liner. I use it all the time. I really like this lip liner because it's different than crayon liner. It just glides really nicely on the lips. So if you have a drier lips and you have trouble working with crayon lip liners, I actually recommend this one. I actually really, really recommend it because it is just so easy to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on lip gloss. I've been really into lip gloss versus matte liquid lipsticks. And I'm gonna go in with the Dose of Colors Spill the Deeds liquid lip gloss. Okay, so that is the final look. I did the whole tutorial right in front of my window with natural lighting, and I did not use any studio lighting to create this look. So now that I'm at the very end of the video, I want to let you guys know my thoughts on the 420 palette from Melt Cosmetics. Okay, so I got this palette because I love green shadows. You guys know I always do green eye looks on here. So I basically got it because I create a lot of green looks and I really needed more matte shades to go with the green shimmers that I already own. So that's mainly why I got this palette, just because I really like the green shades in here, and I think yellow and warm tones go really, really well with green. My only thing is I did not like the shade right here at all. This is Shadow. So Shatter is actually, I think, supposed to be a topper shade, but even for a topper shade, it is not a good shade at all. So I actually tried this in 3 different ways. I tried it with my finger, I tried it with a brush, I tried it with a wet brush with water, and then I also tried it with setting spray. So none of that seemed to work with that shimmer shade, so I was a little disappointed about that one shade. As for the other shades, I actually think they worked really, really nicely. This one right here is very dark, so you want to go in with very, very little. I went in with a little too much, so it was a little bit difficult to work with, so you just want to go in with very little. As for the other shades, I'm pretty happy with them. I've used this in neon shade. I've used these 2 really bright neon shades. This one is Wax, and then this one right here is called Shotgun, and they both apply so well and they layer on very, very nicely. Like if you want it to be even brighter, you can just go in with a second layer, and it actually layers very nicely and blends well. So as for the other shades, I'm pretty happy with them, but not with the shimmer shade. So I like the palette, but if you have something already in your collection like it, I definitely don't think you need it. Alright you guys, so that is pretty much it. Those are my final thoughts on the 420 palette. If you guys got the palette, let me know what you guys think. And that's pretty much it. I'll see everyone in my next video. Bye everyone!